Hello, readers. Welcome to 20 Questions with Your Favorite Author, where we ask authors important questions like, why would you agree to be on this podcast? I'm Kelly Lynn Colby, Editorial Director at Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing. Our guest this week is Mel Todd, urban science fiction writer and publisher. Between Caelid Chronicles, the Blood War series, and the Twisted Luck series, Mel has over 1 million words published and aims for another million in the next 2 years. A place for excellent stories and great authors, Bad Ash Publishing specializes in stories that will grab you and make you hunger for more. If she's not your favorite now, she will be after. Good evening, Mel. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Well, thanks for agreeing to be on. We met at Jordan Con, and I was like, dude, you want to be on my podcast? With my calendar in my hand. You were like, yeah. Well, it responded.
Be so bad, except that you're like, okay, we're planning this 3 months in the future. I'm like, I'm not quite sure where I'm having dinner tomorrow night, and you're expecting me to figure this out.
Hey, it worked, man. It totally worked. You are here on time and everything. See, it works. It's all good.
It works occasionally. I'm really glad you sent the reminder, because otherwise I would be in bed right now.
You're like, I have a 12-hour shift tomorrow too. Leave me alone. That's awesome. I first want to ask you about your publishing company. Obviously, yeah. I am interested. I keep saying we need a club with just a small publishers get together and talk about things.
Yes.
Yeah, we totally, like writers, we get together all the time, but a small press, we have different problems, right? We need to form a new club, in our spare time that we don't have. That's one of the things we can talk about. But Bad Ash Publishing. I mean, don't say it 3 times fast. It could get you in trouble. So I'm wondering, where did that awesome name come from?
So my husband's name was Ashley, but he always went by Ash. And it had been a long-running joke that good Ash, bad Ash, I'm the one with the gun from Army of Darkness. And so when I was setting up the publishing company, I was talking to him about, I'm like, I'm just going to call it Bad Ash Publishing, because I just thought it was funny, especially with how many people mishear it and misspell it. I'm like, no, it's Ash, A-S-H. So yeah, so it's Bad Ash Publishing.
I love it. Well, if nothing else, people won't forget the name. It totally works. Yeah, I love it. I'm wondering, with your publishing company, are you like invite only, or are you open for submissions?
Right now, I'm invite only.
Nice.
I'm working pretty hard on being a pretty niche one. A lot of my readers will tell you that there's pretty much zero romance in any of my books. I don't have romance plot lines. I don't have any of that. I have relationships, just not the whole, oh, he's so cute sort of stuff. Gotcha. Occasionally, 1 or 2 of them does have sex scenes, but they're usually the more violent sort of sex scenes, as opposed to I want to have them. They're aliens, monsters, bad guys.
Whole different kind of niche. It's a whole different kind of niche. Yeah. No, I feel you. No, that's good. I mean, that's the benefit to having small presses, right? We all have our different flavors.
Yes.
So I'm becoming like the humorous fantasy publisher. Like, this is huge. And sci-fi that you can't categorize. We're having lots of issues with that. Because it's so amazing, but it's hard to categorize it. So we have those same issues.
Yeah, welcome to my life. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, what is this? I'm at the point I'm coming up with new genres. Like, one of my series, I call it urban science fiction. And
yes.
People are like, urban science, and I'm like, yes, it's urban science fiction. Deal with it.
Yeah, no, I do want to deal with it, but that's what I saw. That's why I put it on the thing, because that's so interesting. So what do you mean by that? Like, what are you trying to put in there? What category are you creating?
So right now, as a catch-all, urban fantasy tends to be modern day, and you throw magic in. Well, I'm doing modern day, and I'm throwing sci-fi alien stuff in. And so it's urban science fiction. It's me taking what we're dealing with right now and having something radically change it. So technically something like D-Day. Not D-Day. Yeah. No, Independence Day. Good grief. I could see
Will the movie.
Smith
Sorry.
The movie. Independence Day would be an excellent example of urban science fiction. You're taking everything you know exactly what's going on, and then everything changes, but it changes because of science. Or at least, hand-wavium science, as opposed to magic.
So you mean more like Independence Day 2, right? Because the first one's alien invasion, but in the second one, now they have some of this technology and the aliens.
Well,
That's
both.
very
And
clever.
that
I love
that's
it.
one of my series is it's all aliens because aliens basically give me a way to add magic, but do things where I'm working with string entanglement theory, I'm working with nanobots, I'm working with portals, I'm working with other worlds, and it makes it
Mhm,
a lot more fun, but it's not pure science fiction because it's
mhm,
today. We still don't have flying cars. I still
mhm.
don't have a teleporter. I'm very, very angry about that, by the way.
We could go to all kinds of cons if we could just teleport, you know? We could make this work,
Yes.
man. Um, so that's yeah, that was my question. So thank you. I was very, very curious about that. It's pretty cool. I'm wondering, like, of all of your series, so we talked, you've got the urban science fiction. What other series do you have? Like what other genres?
I've I've got the Blood War series, which is Demon Apocalyptic Invasions.
Mm-hmm.
I have my Twisted Luck series, which is a pure urban fantasy, but I set most of the magic in that you had to have a very good STEM background to actually be able to utilize it well. And
Sweet.
then I've got
We're,
little
we've
series
missed the discipline in magic thing. You know what I mean? I really liked that. That was an old thing. I really like that
oh my
discipline in magic. Yeah.
heck, my poor main character, the more powerful you are in this world, the higher a
Mhm.
degree you have to get. So she had to go for her doctorate.
Like, how's her student debt? I mean, how do you?
So it's just funny because I've thrown her into situations where she's like, "That's not what my degree was in. How the heck do I do this again?"
That's awesome because she might have had lower level classes, right? That's so clever. I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
already wanted to read that series. Now I want to read it even more.
And then I've actually got a I've been doing a I'm calling it either small magics or little magics. I literally cannot remember, but
Mhm.
I've written consistently in this world for multiple anthologies. So at some point, I may have to actually write a book. It's about a world where you either have small magics or big magics. And big magics are the
Mm,
one that you can make lots of money and stuff off of. Well,
mhm.
the main character has a small magic in that he can talk to animals and
Aw.
all the trouble he gets in with that because one of the ongoing jokes is people are like, why don't you have any pets, you can talk to animals, and he just looks at me, he's like, do you know what dogs say? Run, food, pet, play, what I want, pet, play. And he's like, and then the cats are like, feed me, human, and nothing else. He's like, I'm good, I don't need any pets.
You're like, they're actually rather boring. Very simple needs.
Just move, pet me. Yeah,
Stop
he's like,
petting
I'm
me.
good, I
Yes.
don't need pets.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So that's fun. So now that we've kind of got and I see why it's hard to categorize them, it totally makes sense to me. Again, it's the same problem, right? That's why we're publishing them ourselves. I think that's what people have
Yes.
to understand, right? People think you're publishing them yourself, it's because it's not good. I'm like, no, we're publishing it ourselves because the big publishers can't figure out where to put them on the shelves. But we know
And,
there's readers out there and we know
and
they love them. We have proof.
I've had this argument with so many people. I'm like, you have
Uh-huh.
to understand, genre is marketing.
Yep.
Genre has nothing to do with story. The
Yep.
problem is mine tends to be slice of life urban fantasy
Mm-hmm.
or urban science fiction
Mm-hmm.
or and
Right.
it's just like, go
Uh-huh.
away. Just here, read my book, please.
Just try the first few pages. If you're not interested, no sweat off my back. I have friends that are writing stuff too. I'll find you something. It's
Yes.
not that hard.
Tell me what you like. Oh, here, try this person.
Exactly. I know where to send you now. Exactly. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun and so frustrating all at the same time.
Yes.
So of all these series, which one is closest to your heart?
Honestly, probably the Kalin Chronicles. It what didn't meet as much fan love as I might have hoped. Now, I will say that it's getting a lot more attention now. It's been a completed series for a few years. But so I'm a long time gamer. We won't talk about decades. And I've always loved shifters, werewolves, cat shifters, stuff like that. I just always have.
Mhm,
But there's been a really big surge lately of the fated mate, hiding in the shadow stuff. And I'm not saying those are bad. I've read more than my fair share of those,
mhm.
but I was bored. I was tired of it. I went, what happens if you have all of this in the forefront where everybody knows about shifters and it isn't anything that anybody can hide? And it was a lot of fun taking that idea and being able to tease it out and make it both at least a solid logic for how the universe worked,
Mhm.
and then keep the characters involved. Because it's always been one of my pet peeves is that you'll have this nobody from nowhere and they're involved talking to the president and everything else. And I'm like, in the real world, they would have been shunted to the side after chapter 5.
For sure. Yeah,
So
yeah.
how can I realistically tweak things that is
Mhm.
in a logical manner that keeps this group of people firmly in the middle? And that was a lot of fun trying to figure out how to do that.
That's, like, the fun part. I think problem solving is part of the game, right? Yeah, I like
Absolutely.
that too. Problem
And
solving
writing
without math,
yourself into
unless you're doing a lit
corners.
RPG, then there's math, yeah. Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
yep. So if you were in charge of choosing one character, one of your characters to save the world, so this is you. The president turns to you and is gonna choose one character to save the world. Who would it be and why? Did I tell you we ask very important questions on this show? Like, these are
You
vital,
do.
vital.
Honestly, do I have to let the world still be in existence by the time this character is done?
There's no rules. I don't know, it's supposed to be saving the world, though. I mean, the world can change afterwards, but I don't know that it can go away. It has to be saved.
Probably Corey. She's my twisted left main character, mainly because that's literally what she is doing right now, and it is costing her greatly. And everybody around her, or at least most of the non-humans around her, are like, you could just let it burn. She's like, I can't do that. They're like, no, really, you
Oh.
could. You could just let it. She's like, no, quit it. Help me.
Just help me. I know I can't do that. Let's go. Spoken like someone who knows what it's like to be in charge even when they didn't want to be. Is that like self-reflecting at all? Yeah.
Yes and no. I am a
Mhm.
pure INTJ. I am the person that if somebody else is competent and running it, great. I will sit back in the shadow. I will do whatever you need me to do, and I won't say anything. If
Mhm.
there isn't somebody competent running it, I will step up and I will take it over. And your choices are either do it the way I'm doing it or leave. I do not care. But if it has to be done, either somebody competent needs to be there or I'm taking it over. And used to be funny. Uh, I worked for AT&T full time before I quit to do this writing thing. And I'd come into meetings and they'd be like, "Oh, good, you're the one running it." And I'd be like, "Yes." They're like, "Yeah, because you don't deal with it, any bullshit and you just get the meeting done in like a quarter of the time of everybody else." I'm like, "Yeah, because I have other crap to do."
That's right, because this is the least important thing I have to do today. Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, is this done? No, where are we at? Okay, who's taking this one? I no, somebody speak up or I start assigning it. I don't
That's right.
care." Okay, anything that wasn't dealt with, great. We were done in 10 minutes. See you in a week.
You're like, are we good? Good. All right, I'm out.
Either that or we then spend the last 20 minutes either talking about recipes or what movie we want to see, which is much more interesting than the work stuff we were talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
important stuff.
Yeah, that's what happens on this podcast. I mean, sorry, back to subjects. What were we talking about? I mean, we always laugh. It's like you can always tell when I haven't eaten before the podcast because we talk way more about food during it. Yeah, that happens as well. I have orange juice this time though, so that might help. See, it is
I have
just
water.
orange juice, people. There's nothing interesting in it. So, mm, not this time. I am getting old. I'm trying to be good. Um,
Yeah,
Pulp or no pulp? Medium pulp. I like medium pulp orange juice. How do you like? Do you drink orange juice, Mel?
it's way too sweet for me.
Oh, is it? Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see that. I do have to take a Pepsi though, because the acid. Again, getting old. The acid gets my. So I'm drinking something that's really good for me, but I'm also going to be tortured by it. It's
I did keto long time ago, and it actually worked pretty well. I was pretty happy doing the diet. It was easy.
Mhm.
But by the time I got off, pretty much all fruit juices, most sodas, I couldn't even stand to drink them because it was just felt like I was drinking a glucose test. And so I pretty much, to be honest, if you see me with fruit juice, either I'm desperate or it's cranberry juice or there's booze in it. Because, yeah,
that's
otherwise I'm probably not drinking juice.
that's
Just saying.
It does cut the sweet. It does cut the
Uh-huh.
sweet. Um, so let's see. You have so much out in the world. Like we just talked about your series, right? It's so impressive. I mean, million words. It's
Actually,
incredible. And that's just
no,
published.
no, actually, so I just got I'm wearing my new T-shirt, and I can't turn around to show it to you because I'll be backwards. But
Uh-huh.
right now, I'm at over 2.2 million words published.
What? That is so
So
incredible.
I'm hoping by the end of next year to have broken 3 or 4, one of the two.
Wow. That's impressive. That's impressive. You should definitely have a t-shirt. I mean, you get over 3, you should have a trophy. Like there, I
Well,
mean,
now to be fair, part of it is that I have a pen name out there named Renee Levins that I was writing back when I was writing romance, and she's got at least God 300,000 words under her.
yeah, but I don't see what difference that makes. You still wrote all
No,
those words. Like that
no, I
is
still
really
wrote all
freaking
those words.
impressive. Yeah. And again, like I said, that's the important difference for me is that those are published words.
Yes,
Right? You know,
those
that's
are
not
published
including all the stuff that never made it. That's not including the stuff you were
words.
just playing with.
My
That's not including the
500,000
stuff
words
that
of
ended up on the floor.
memoir.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's impressive. Um, so which book was the hardest to write? I know there's so many challenges. People think it's hard just like the plotting or stuff like that. I'm like, no, a lot of these they hit you emotionally so hard they were hard to write. And some of them you
Yeah.
just couldn't figure out the mystery. So it could be anything, right?
Sometimes it's like, where the heck is this story going? What did I do? Why did I do this? Um, Honestly, the problem is it's always the one I'm writing right now because that's the one that
Mm,
I'm stuck in the middle of.
mhm.
But I always like, oh my gosh, I took forever to write this. Oh wait, it was 3 months. Okay, maybe I didn't.
Maybe that's okay. I think it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, okay, no, the first one would have been the first no choice because I
Mhm,
rewrote that book from the beginning 3 times with a completely different plot line,
mhm.
different characters, different dynamics. And I would take it to my critique group and they would shred it and I'd look at it and go, okay, we're starting over. I kid you not, I have multiple versions of this with different characters, different ways the shifting happened. I rewrote it from scratch 3 times. So that is
Wow.
a book that is 100,000 words, was written by over 300,000 words to get to it.
Wow, wow, wow. That's called dedication, by the way. Y'all take notes. Like that's when you care. I'm gonna have to say I would write that book the first time, realize it didn't work, and put it away. I would not have done that.
No,
So that is impressive. You were like, no, no, this baby's coming to life. I'm gonna fix it.
these babies coming to life.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, so again, talking about the multiple series, what and we have a lot of authors that listen to, right? So we have a lot of us write
Mhm.
series, right? I mean, you spend so much time building the world, you don't want to just spend, 100,000 words in it, right? We want to spend lots of time in there. So I'm wondering, what is the biggest challenge for you with writing book 2? I find that to be the hardest when I talk to authors. What's your biggest challenge?
Trying to remember all the little people that I threw in the book as a throwaway. And I suddenly realized, shoot, what was this person's name? What color eyes did I give them? Flipping through the book, trying to figure out what, how did I spell their name? Or worse, when you get to book 6 and you have a scene with all these little throwaways, and you realize all of their names start with the same letter. And you can't change it because it's
Too late.
already been published. I'm like, oops, sorry.
I'm sorry,
Because
we're
I'm
doing the
pretty
best
good.
we
I try
can.
to make sure everybody has different name. Yeah, no, I had one scene where it's like everybody started with the same letter, and I'm like, sorry guys, blame Mel Todd who was writing book 1 because I'm now on book 8.
Well, I mean, you could just get one character with the same letter in every book, and suddenly they're all in the same scene. I could see that being a problem.
Yes, and that's literally what happened. I'm like going, oh, fudge. Didn't really. Now I will say at least most of them had different sounds. So even
Mm.
though it happened to be the letter C, but all of them had different because C in the English language is a chameleon and changes constantly. So at least it was different sounds with every name.
Well, now I'm wondering, is this book in audio format as well?
Yes.
So how much did your narrator curse you out while they were trying to record this?
Actually, she hasn't. She's been pretty good. She's probably going to be cursing me out the most on the newest book that she's just starting, because I have a lot of very unusual names in it that are not,
Mm,
they, there's a lot of Native American names. There is
mhm.
some Greek names, and there's just names that are not normal, where I'm literally like, look, here's the website, put it in and click it, and you can hear how they're saying it, because don't count on me.
It's like this. I'm sorry. This is the
Yes.
one. I did that. I have a character with the last name Wen, and
Uh-huh.
it's the Vietnamese Wen, right? So it's
Oh, yeah.
Nguyen. And so for my narrator, I sent her. There's a Vicky Wen is a one of the correspondents on the Today Show. So
Mhm.
I just had she introduced herself. I just took that clip and sent it to her. I'm like this.
Like this.
This I know it makes no sense, but just trust me. This is how you say it. So, oh,
No.
Rark is on. Rark is on. They're for you, Mel. They were looking for you, so I'm not sure who they are. So, if they want to specify or ask a cool question, and then Mel will know who you are, that'll work. Um, so
See,
talked a
see,
lot
the other
about your
thing
world.
is she can see Twitch. I can't. So I can't see who's popping on or what you guys are saying. So
Oh, here you go. Here
it's
you go.
like I'm
Here's your
hiding.
clue. Here's your clue. 3D print mic.
Oh, hi.
She's like, got it. That was a great clue, Rark. Good job.
Here, wait. I will show you 3D print.
Oh, 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 oh. That's 3D printed? That's
This is
so
3D
cool.
printed and painted. This is Tiersane for my Twisted Luck series.
That's
I
so
actually hired somebody to design the STL. And so we're working on getting them printed and painted, and they'll be different sizes, but I'll be selling these at Dragon Con.
that is so clever. What a great
Isn't she
idea.
gorgeous?
She is. I love it.
She is my Gorgon. That's Tiersane. She is awesome.
Man, nice job, Rark. Space Job RPG says that she's breathtaking. So,
I
very
agree.
nice. Very nice. No, I like it. That's cool. Yeah, we've been making trading cards, right? So
Hmm.
that's one thing that we're selling. So we have, art for that and doing that. But we've been thinking about 3D printing too. They have sylphs, which are basically fairies. So they have
Hmm.
like the dragonfly wings and stuff. So they've been printing those and they're so cute and fans love them. So that is a great idea to do it at cons. So that'll be fun.
I
Have you done
also
anything
have
like that
these.
before? The metal bookmarks. Yes, I have some too. Oh, they're not here. I love those too. We give them away if you do like full series and stuff.
These are pretty awesome. They're actually engraved and everything else, or etched. I guess
Hmm.
it is not engraved, but I've got one for each of the different uh, branches in the Twisted Luck series. So Chaos, Order, and Spirit.
That's so
So
cool.
I'd be kind of excited to see how people like these at Dragon Con.
Mm.
And yes, Garrett, yours are sitting right here. I need to put a stamp on them and mail them.
Yeah, Garrett's
I
going,
have
where's
not
mine?
succeeded. I have not succeeded in that stamp and mail part yet.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that. Yeah, Garrett
Post
says some
office.
books you have audio for and some not. Will you go back and put all of your books in audio? Is it worth the investment for you doing audio or just having printed books?
That is one of those really apples and oranges questions. So for 100,000 word book, it runs about $3,000 to have it put into audio. Figure for every sale, I might make $1 to $2 depending on the royalty. So that means for me to make just to break even on the audiobook, assuming that I'm making $2 per sale, which I won't, by the way. Some of them you get 50 cents. That means I have to sell over 6,000 copies
Just to break even. That's not even making money.
just to break even. And there's bestsellers who can't sell that many books.
Mhm.
So it's one of those where, and now granted, they're going to be there forever. Can be selling them for the next 20 or 30 years, but you have to be able to lose that much money knowing you're going to be gaining $25 to $50 a month for the rest of forever.
And
And
times
that's a
however many
really
books
hard
there
choice.
are.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there's no
So
point to just doing the first one. Yeah.
right. So it's one of those where every author will tell you absolutely they would love to have all of their stuff in audio. The cost point and how long it takes to make a return is really what stops most of us.
100%. 100%. And we like that. So, and by the way, we're not complaining too much about the price. At least I don't, because those narrators earn it. They're
Oh
amazing.
no,
Yeah.
that is not. It's the same
It's not a
thing as
complaint, it's a reality. Yeah.
what I paid for this. I paid very good money for the guy to design this, but it's worth every penny. But it means it's going to take me probably a year or two to just recoup what I spent before I ever start making profit. And that's just how business works.
That's just how it works. We are small scale businesses, right? So we're
Yep.
doing this because we love it. That's why. We do need to eat, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of other jobs we could do that'd be a lot easier that we could eat with.
Yes.
So we are trying. So thank you. Great question. Oh, Space Job RPG has a question. Has a character of yours surprised you with how they've grown? Like, have you ever written an antagonist and found yourself coming around to their point of view or fallen out of love with the hero over the course of their story?
Um, yes and no. I mean, lots of times I try pretty hard to write villains that they have viable reasons for why they're doing things. So I just published a book called Puppet Master, where the villain very much was at the whole I want to burn down the world. And this is spoilers, so sorry if you haven't read Puppet Master, put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la. But basically the agency that he worked for abandoned his girlfriend, wife, and left her for dead. And he found her, brought her back, and he left to go do something, and she fell and got worse. And so he is watching his basically wife in a bed on life support. And if they had been willing to look for her a little bit longer because she was caught in an avalanche, and they said, no, getting the bad guy is more important. And so they left her. He wants to destroy the world because the thing that he loved the most was destroyed.
By the world.
And so I really, really understood why. And I tried to just take that and pull out. I mean, by the end, I really kind of felt sorry for him. And by the way, his girlfriend wife is still alive, and she may come back and cause other problems because she didn't die. But you completely understand why people do things sometimes. And so I've done that a couple times. I will say one of the things that's really hard about the series that I'm writing right now is I'm on book 8. I know these people inside and out. And after a while, you're like, okay, really, I get that you just want to sit down and rest and put your feet up and have a nice drink. You can't.
But I need this pace to keep going, so let's go.
So it does get hard sometimes. I think that's why so many authors, we bounce both genre and story, is because we need to keep it fresh. We need to keep doing other things. I mean, for me, usually I do a lot of fan fiction. So I have fan fiction that comes in between in my writing sprints just so I have something fun and non-serious to play with. And it helps me get back to doing all the other stuff that I have to do, like editing, which is just awful.
Yeah. That is why I like to have one in revision and then one in, drafting at the same time.
Yes.
Right? Because they're different parts of your brain and it's really nice. So, that I can definitely relate to. Space Job wants to spy on you. They want to know, is your fan fiction online anywhere?
Yes, I have about 500,000 words of fan fiction.
Oh,
It's almost all Buffy fan fiction with Xander as the main character.
That's our son's name, and that's what we named him after too. Same reason. That's so
So
cool.
if you go to Twisting the Hellmouth, which is a Buffy crossover fan fiction, everything I've written is on Twisting the Hellmouth, and I've slowly been moving it over to fanfic and AOE3 or AO3. But look for Night Corson, and pretty much if you see Night Corson on a game anywhere, it's me. I'm pretty much the only Night Corson.
That comes from decades of gaming. That's what we laugh. No one ever has mine or Zapho's name either because, decades of gaming, we're always the first.
Pretty much. I'm like, oh, Night Corson, mine, go away.
It's mine.
Go away.
It's mine. Garrett wants to know, what's your word goal? Do you have like a daily one or a weekly one? Do you have, besides
Okay.
your, almost a 3 million goal, how do you get there?
In theory, I should be writing 3 to 4,000 words a day. I am still struggling with my own time management, and I actually realized something today, that it's one of the things I do miss about the day job is because
Mhm.
emotional stuff, when I was doing the day job, which was very analytical and numbers and coding and stuff, I could lose myself in it. The emotional stuff and creative stuff, it doesn't work. It distracts me too much. I'm like, there's some reports that I could do so I have something logical. Most of the time, for me, an absolute minimum is 1,000. I usually try to make a minimum of 2,000, but I've got to get myself to the point that 5 days a week I'm writing for. Just involves quit having life happen to me. That would be nice, please. Thank you very
Right?
much.
Yeah, that'd be great. Can I sign up for that plan too? That'd
Yes,
be great.
please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the club I need to be in. I feel you. Yeah, I was in something. I was doing because sometimes like Twitch, there's a lot of writers that do writing sprints and stuff. And sometimes I need that concentration time because I'm so busy running the business. I'm like, oh wait, I have a book I need to finish writing, right? So it's one of those day job writing things, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, but I've got to get this in. I've got a deadline, so I'm gonna go. The community writing works for me. So we're gonna be quiet and we're all
Really.
gonna write for 20 minutes. It works really well for me. Peer pressure is powerful for me. So I will go on Twitch and find someone, and they were like, "Oh, what's your goal for today?" It was a new one, and I was like, "Oh, 2,000." And they're like, "2,000? Well, that's a grueling pace." I'm like, well, I do this for a living. That's not a grueling pace. That's the required pace. That's
So I tend to write in sprints. I write in
Mhm,
20
me
minute
too.
sprints. I have my little hourglass
Mhm,
that I flip.
yep.
This is 1,000 words. Pretty much, give or take about 100 words either way. 20 minutes is 1,000 words, which means, and this is the part that I get on myself about, is if I can write 4 20-minute sprints, I'm making my numbers. This shouldn't be this hard.
Well, you're faster than me. I can only get about 300 to 500 in 20 minutes. It depends on where I am in the chapter. But again, it's
I'm
really
also
not
a
that long.
fast typist.
Oh, I type fine. It's not the
Okay.
typing part. It's the making myself concentrate, even with the sprint.
That's what I like the sprint, because at least then it's like, okay, you can't stop, you can't stop. Wait, what do you need? Okay, I'm stopping.
All right. Yep, that's exactly it. I'm telling you. I feel your pain, Mel. I feel your pain. Yeah, but that was a little eye-opening to me. 2,000 a day, that's grueling. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, look, have you met Katie Cross?
No, I've heard about Katie Cross. I've not met her.
Katie is awesome. She is
Uh-huh.
delightful. She
Uh-huh.
does 10K a day.
What?
And I'm just like,
Now that's grueling.
darling, I worship at her feet. I will be very happy if I can get to a 4,000 words a day.
Talk about no problem concentrating. Holy moly.
I can't do it. I can't get
Uh-uh.
my brain to
Nope.
focus. I
Me
need
neither.
blinders. That's what I need. I need mental blinders.
It won't help. My brain's distracted. Like, even if people are not walking in here every 2 seconds or sending me emails every 2 seconds, my brain will find something.
I
It just
will
will.
say I do like the do not disturb function on the Mac.
Hmm.
Setting do not disturb. The biggest problem is I have to make sure the menu bar is on my other computer screen so I don't
Yes.
see the notifications.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have to
Like,
turn off Discord. I have to log off at Discord. I have to log up. Like, I have to make it all go because even anything pops up, even not even popping up to warn me. Like you
yes,
said, if I see a
just the
number,
number. I see the number. I'm like, I wonder who it is. Okay, they
it
can
might be
wait. No,
important.
it might be.
I'm like, stop it. Yeah, no, I
Or
feel you.
worse. Oh, it's somebody. Oh, it might be somebody I really wanted to talk to.
That's right. Oh, they finally answered my email? Or it's a new cover for a new book? I'm like, oh, cover, pretty, shiny. I'm like, it can wait 20 minutes. Just finish the sprint first. But yeah, my brain
Again.
doesn't agree. It doesn't agree. I feel you. Yeah. So Katie Cross releases a book a month. Yeah. I actually know a few people that do that. It's pretty impressive. It's not me. It will never be me.
It's not me. It's not
Um,
me.
so it's all good. I used to say, oh, their stuff must be junk. And then I read some of them. I'm like, they're not junk. Now I really don't like you.
It's
It's
like
great.
your stuff is really good.
Yeah.
God, I suck.
Yeah, it's like I needed more imposter syndrome. Are you killing me here? No, it's all good. We all have different paces, and that's all that matters, which is why I didn't yell at the people for thinking 2000 was grueling, right? Because
Right.
everyone has their own pace. You do it at your pace. So
Yep.
I've always said the only wrong way to do this is to not do it.
Yep.
So that's the only wrong way. Um, let's see. That was fun. I think we are about at our lightning round. So let's hit our lightning round. These are the very important questions. So we
Okay.
got all the fluff over with. So now we're on the important ones. Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay.
What was your favorite book growing up?
Tarzan of the Apes by Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Choice. What weird thing do you collect?
Books.
Is that weird? I don't think that's weird. That does not count.
I don't have room to collect anything yet. That is not true. The other thing I guess I'm collecting is all my con badges because my husband
Yes.
had a collection. So my collection is slowly growing of all my con
Yeah.
badges.
Yeah, no, we have quite a collection of con badges ourselves. No, I'm with you on that one. That's cool. I like that. What song should play every time you walk into a room?
Raise Your Glass by Pink.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love her. I didn't get tickets to her in concert. I've been regretted it ever since. Like I couldn't get them. I don't know. Regret's the right thing. They were sold out. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Anything honestly, right now it's Magnum's sea salt caramel that's wrapped in the chocolate that you have to break the shell. Magnum. So I found this out the hard way. I even did a PSA for this. If you have somebody that you love, don't ever give them a pint of Magnum's ice cream, the chocolate chaparral, because they will eat the entire pint.
It's almost
Just
required.
saying.
They might as well
You
just put
can't.
one serving on the back.
It's one serving. It's one serving. I mean, if you are somebody that with the magnums, with the like normal ice cream, I can just have a couple spoonfuls. I'm good. If you're the sort of monster that can make a pint of that last for a month or so, you have issues.
Yeah. No, around here we can't have half a gallon last a month, so I can't imagine that's not gonna happen. Let's see. What would you eat for your last meal?
Salmon.
Oh, good choice. Um, what was the last movie you saw in the theater?
Dungeons and Dragons. It was really good.
Wasn't it awesome? Oh my gosh, it was so good. So we saw
I
it in the
was
theater
totally
and then it was
screamed
available
at the
for streaming. We
cameos.
watched it again. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Do you D&D?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Oh my
I grew up,
gosh.
and I grew up watching that cartoon, and it was so funny because I went with friends of mine who are in their 30s, so
Uh,
they did not get why I'm having a meltdown at the maze scene when the cameo pops up. I'm like, I'll explain it later. Well, just let me enjoy my. They did it.
Well, I loved how they did a great job that if you knew nothing about D&D, it was still a really good movie. But if you were like, aficionado and enjoyed it, then there were
Okay,
all these
look,
little Easter eggs. Yeah.
I've played Elder Scroll, Baldur's Gate, Morrowind.
Oh,
I've played them all, and so I'm watching that. I'm like, oh look, they did. Oh, I'm like, guys, you did a D&D movie, right? Can we have more now, please?
yes, please give us
I
another
mean,
one.
I even knew who the Harpers were, so I totally got all of it. Which, by the way, asking anybody to take a vow of poverty is just stupid.
Yeah.
It sets you up for failure, but that's a storytelling issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you want them to fail. So yeah.
Yes.
100%. Let's see. If they could be tamed, what wild animal would you like as a pet?
Mountain lion.
Oh, good choice.
But
What
did you know
TV
that if you live in Colorado, you can keep them as a pet along with bobcats? They're illegal in Georgia.
Do you know we're in Texas and you can have whatever the heck you want? We don't have any laws. Yeah, it's very frustrating. What TV show is your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm a disaster porn addict. Sorry, my name's Mel. I love disaster porn. Which means I have seen every bad disaster movie there ever is. I have watched them all. So you get me on 911 and 911 Lone Star. Yeah, no, I'm there watching it.
You're like, I'm
I
in.
love it. Yes, I medical drama, anything that is disasters and people dealing with it, or California falling into the ocean.
Mhm.
I'm
You're
there.
in?
I'm there every single time.
That's funny. See, you get along with my mom. My mom loved disaster movies growing up. And there was one, I don't remember what it was, but there was a volcano and that was the big thing. And I
Uh-huh.
was like 3, and she had to tell me over and over again before
Dante's
we went to
Peak.
bed. Was it? I'm sorry?
Dante's Peak.
Okay, that's so funny that you just like know that. You're not
Oh
kidding.
yeah,
You're like,
no,
"No, I got it. I'm an aficionado."
I got it.
But I remember because I was young, and every time before I go to bed, mom would have to assure me that there were no volcanoes in South Carolina, and I could go to sleep. It'll be fine.
Okay, look, Dante's Peak is the movie. While I haven't done it yet, I still want a need. I have this visceral, deep-seated need to have a snorkel on my truck. Just so that if I ever have to ford a river, I can ford a
You
river.
might need it, man. You never know. You never know. I mean, all this flooding going on. You're in Georgia. This could happen. You might need one. So, yeah. Let's see. Rark says that they watch 2012, Armageddon, and The Day After Tomorrow at least 2 times a month when going to bed. There you go. That's pretty. Wait, before going to. So, wait, those are your comfort movies? Okay, I'm confused by you two. I just want you to know that. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. And Friday Blue loves Dante's Peak too. Um, And then finally, even though you've been awesome and I don't want to let you go tonight, Mel, where can fans find you and your work?
Well, you can find my website at badashpublishing.com. I also have an author website, meltodd.com. I know they're horribly complicated names. Uh, on social media, I tend to most of the time be under Badash Books. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you can find me there. In theory, I have a TikTok account. Don't ask me the name. I have no clue. We are still playing with it. It's some gobbledygook letters as I try to figure out how to do something besides surf TikTok.
Right. Talk about distracting and eating my brain. I'm with you. So now that Mel is your new favorite author, please make sure to review her work. You can also review us wherever you get your podcasts. And you can subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Twitch. And we'll see you next week with Mark McCrae. See you then.
Bye, guys.